Every single person that has worked in parliament or has had an interaction in parliament will tell you there is sexual harassment in parliament. They will tell you they don't speak about it because this is what happens to you when you speak about it. So, and I mean, we are living the times where we have seen even politicians being put on platforms and being told to turn around so that we can see your behind.
Back once again to Bonita Media. Call me Boniface Owino. That is, if at all we are meeting for the first time. And please don't forget to click the subscribe button. You can also like and share. You can drop me a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think and where exactly you're watching this video from. Now, let me ask this question. How powerful is Jeremiah Nyaga? That is the Senate clerk, if I'm not. How powerful is this man? Because according to the former Senator Orwoba's statement, it means that this man is so powerful. She's trying to explain something. And I said this thing, that if we have a very dirty parliament, then the 13th parliament is very dirty, full of people, very funny people, people who are players. You are in a position that you're supposed to lead Kenyans. You're supposed to pass bills in parliament. But instead of passing bills in parliament, you're doing things that ought not to be done by the leaders, by the parliamentarians. You seduce each other. You sleep with each other. Things that you do in parliament cannot even be done outside. Like, I don't know how to put it. Senator Orwoba is, and you know, what is funny is that right now is when Senator Orwoba is coming out to say these things after she was impeached.
I have had to cut my meeting so that I can actually address this judgment. Jeremiah Nyegenye, the clerk of the Senate, took me to court on defamation claims. And in fact, this was the funny thing. The matter was brought to parliament through him, because he's the one that pushed behind the scenes that it was brought to parliament when I was absent. They discussed it in my absence. I responded when I was in New York through a video. He took the video, and that is the video that he took to say that he was defamed. Now, my claims are still on the table. I've written an official letter to Parliamentary Service Commission, to the chair of Parliamentary Service Commission, Mr. Wetangula, the Speaker of the National Assembly. They ignored my letter. I have complained within the powers that be in Senate, including to the Speaker. They have ignored all my complaints. I complained in the official WhatsApp group that, listen here, I think because I said I'm not going to sleep with this guy and I don't want to participate in his sexual advances, that is why I am being removed from certain trips. I'm being removed from certain legislative agenda. My bills are being put at the back. That is why I'm being targeted with unlawful and all sorts of crazy things and shenanigans, such as 6 months suspension. That is why also, as you can see, they forced me to put in an apology, which Jeremiah Nyegenye, through that committee that prepared, added his name. And remember when I was telling you people that this guy is going to use this thing in court, he went and used it in court as a submission. Now, I am a believer of the judicial system, and I do believe that as much as there are many legal loopholes that criminals, rapists, murderers are using to win cases, I do believe in the judicial system. That is why I have placed an appeal. I am going to appeal this judgment that has come out. I've had people saying, oh, 10 million, oh, when it rains, it pours, I don't know what. The machinery that is even being used to push this narrative is the UDA machinery that is actually supporting people like Jeremiah Nyegenye to continue with these things that they are doing in parliament. Every single person that has worked in parliament or has had an interaction in parliament will tell you there is sexual harassment in parliament. They will tell you they don't speak about it because this is what happens to you when you speak about it. So, and I mean, we are living the times where we have seen even politicians being put on platforms and being told to turn around so that we can see your behind. This is a culture that somebody has to say no to. And I know that there is a price to pay to say no to that. And I'm willing and ready and capable to pay the price, because I was raised as a person who does not exchange sexual favors for whatever. That is not how my father raised me. And anyone who has been in my space knows, in fact, wanasema unajiringa, unajifanya, but that is not who I am. And there are many girls and many women who are finding themselves in compromising situations. You saw how Sabina Chege, actually a woman of her stature and her age, just succumbed to turning around to show her behind, because that is how the powers that be force it. So I want to say this to Jeremiah Nyegenye and to the public that cares to listen. No one has investigated No one has investigated. Ever since I put up and said, listen guys, this guy is punishing me for saying no, not one single independent body or person has investigated and found that indeed Jeremiah Nyegenya is innocent. The only thing you have to do, even beyond investigations, as the public, why is the Senate refusing to put public the travel reports? Let Kenyans see who has been traveling, how much they have been using in the travel, how frequent they travel, who they travel with, and what that means to the taxpayers. Because the moment they put out the travel report, you will see Jeremiah Nyegenya in a plane every day with someone and someone and someone. And those are people who are playing ball. You will see the leadership of the house in a plane to wherever with constantly with certain people. You will see even the speaker of the house constantly in some travel with certain people. So that's the basic thing. So I know there's a price to be paid, but let me tell you something. I believe that God put me in parliament for a reason. And evil will never win. So I am appealing. That is my position. I'm appealing in what has happened. I know that he used the legal loophole and now he's pushing UDA party machinery and minions left, right and center to push a narrative. But Jeremiah Nyegenya, there's no single investigation that has cleared you of sexual harassment. And that is the fact. And the Senate has not carried out any investigation. Do not lie to Kenyans. And Kenyans, ask for the travel report so that you can see how your billions of Kenya shillings is being spent in exchange of sexual favors and trips. Yeah, that's what I have to say about this.
When she was in this parliament, she was not saying anything. Like, they will do things together without telling us. You know, one thing I came to understand and realize with these people is that wherever they are in positions, wherever they are in these offices, they don't speak about what is happening. And then now, after getting out of these offices, that is when now they open their mouth, they tell us what is normally being done there, what normally happens, you know, how they're normally being sexually harassed, a lot of these things. So when she was in the office, she could not even say that she was being sexually harassed. Right now is when she's saying that the Senate clerk was forcing her to sleep with him. Okay, we all know that maybe the accusation might be right or wrong. Okay, let's assume that it's right. But I think she was in a better position to say this when she was in parliament. Why didn't she say it when she was in parliament? Before being impeached? Why didn't she say it at that time? Why now? That is the question. Why is she saying this right now when things have escalated? When she's not in the office, when she's outside, when she's now looking for another way to be elected. You know, these people, I told you guys, I normally say that politicians are very funny. There is no one who is very funny like a politician. A politician is a very funny person. Why am I saying that politicians are very funny? Because take a look at this. When the guy Shagwa was in the office, the guy Shagwa was not against William Samoei Ruto. They were working together. In fact, the guy Shagwa was against those who were not in government, those who are in opposition. Look at JB Muturi. When JB Muturi was in the office, he was not talking negatively about the government. Immediately when they got out of this government, they started talking negatively about this government. So, you know, sometimes you ask yourself this question that what is it? What is going on? Why are these things happening the way they are happening? And if they're happening this way, how are we supposed to go about it? So these politicians, especially these women, who normally talks, who normally speaks, who normally say anything they want to say. Okay, I want us to take a look at this. I think I did this video some days back. I think like a week back, when Farouk Kibet was forcing Sabina Chege to turn around so that they could see her, people could see her back. And you know, she's turning very happily turning her back so that people could see her behind. Why? Because the authority have spoken. Is it really true? So now I have two questions here. Is it really true that there is sexual harassment in parliament? Or it is not true that there is sexual harassment in parliament? If there is, then what has ever been done? That is the question. And then, if there has never been, then why is it that these people are talking about it right now? Why is it that people like Orwoba is talking about it right now? I'm not asking Cheke talking about sexual harassment. I've not heard people like Karen Nyamu talking about. Why? Because they're still there. So the moment they'll come out, that is when we will know exactly what has been happening. After all, guys, that is just my thought, and that is all I have for today. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And a quick reminder, if you're meeting for the first time, don't forget to drop me a comment in the comment section and tell me what you think and where you're watching this video from. Until we meet again, I have been your host, Bombshell. Bingo.